Maya Chen didn't believe in fate, but the object streaking across the Martian sky like a wounded comet made her question that conviction. Standing at the viewport of her repair station, she tracked its erratic descent through the rust-colored atmosphere, leaving a trail of iridescent particles in its wake. The repair station, affectionately nicknamed the pit stop by the few spacers who ventured this far from the main colonies, sat isolated in Mars Valles Marineris. Maya had chosen this location precisely for its solitude. After 15 years of working on cutting-edge ships in Earth's overcrowded orbital yards, she'd grown tired of bureaucracy and safety inspectors questioning her unconventional repair methods. Track that descent path, HFY. Maya commanded her station's AI, already reaching for her environment suit, and prepped the recovery crawler. Object's trajectory suggests impact approximately 12 kilometers east. HFY responded in her characteristically calm tone. Maya, preliminary scans indicate highly unusual energy signatures. This may not be a standard vessel. Maya paused while sealing her suit's chest plate. Define unusual. The object appears to be partially organic in nature. I'm detecting what seem to be neural pathways throughout its structure. Additionally, it's covered in some form of crystalline growth that's interfering with detailed scans. An organic ship. Maya's heart raced. In all her years of repair work, she'd never encountered anything like that. The most advanced human biotech was still in experimental phases, and none of humanity's alien trading partners had mastered biological spacecraft either. Plot me the safest route to the impact site, Maya said, double-checking her suit's seals, and keep monitoring for any other objects following similar trajectories. Anything that badly damaged probably didn't get that way by accident. The recovery crawler's treads kicked up clouds of red dust as Maya guided it across the Martian terrain. The closer she got to the impact site, the more her instruments went haywire. The air itself seemed to crackle with strange energy that made her skin tingle even through the protective suit. When she crested the final ridge, Maya's breath caught in her throat. The ship, if you could call it that, lay half buried in the Martian soil. It was massive, easily 300 meters long, with an organic, almost whale-like shape. Its surface seemed to ripple and shift, covered in what looked like crystalline scales that pulsed with faint bioluminescence. But most striking were the wounds. Huge tears and gashes in its living hull, many filled with strange metallic shards that gleamed dully in the pale Martian sunlight. HFY, are you getting this? Maya whispered, approaching cautiously. Affirmative. Maya, I'm detecting faint electrical impulses similar to neural activity. If my readings are correct, this vessel is alive and in critical condition. Maya reached out to touch the ship's hull, her gloved hand hovering just above the crystalline surface. The moment she made contact, a jolt of energy surged through her suit's systems, and for a split second, she felt something, a presence, vast and alien, and filled with pain. Hello, she said softly, maintaining contact despite her suit's warnings about unknown energy signatures. I'm here to help. The ship's surface rippled beneath her touch, and a low vibration hummed through the ground. One of the crystal scales near Maya shifted, revealing what looked like neural fibers beneath, pulsing weakly with bioluminescent light. HFY, prep the main bay. We're going to need every piece of equipment we've got. Maya was already calculating what she'd need. Her standard repair tools would be useless on something like this. She'd have to improvise, combine technologies in ways they were never meant to be combined. As she began preliminary scans of the damage, Maya noticed something disturbing about the metallic shards embedded in the ship's hull. They seemed to be moving, ever so slightly, like they were trying to burrow deeper into the living tissue. HFY, analyze these fragments. Priority 1. Analysis complete. HFY responded after a moment. The fragments appear to be composed of self-replicating nanomaterials. They're attempting to convert the ship's organic matter into more of themselves. Maya's blood ran cold. She'd heard rumors about such technology. a mechanical plague that consumed organic matter and transformed it into copies of itself. Most dismissed it as space folklore, but the evidence was right in front of her. "We need to get these out," she muttered, already formulating a plan. "Araya, how quickly can you recalibrate our electromagnetic pulse generators for precise, localized bursts?" Estimated time: 43 minutes. "But Maya, we've never tested the equipment on integrated organic systems. The risk of collateral damage is significant." Maya looked up at the wounded ship, feeling again that faint sense of presence, of consciousness. Whatever this vessel was, wherever it had come from, it had come here, to her station, to her. She couldn't explain the certainty she felt, but she knew that if she didn't help, something remarkable would be lost forever. "Sometimes the biggest risks bring the biggest breakthroughs," she said, patting the ship's hull gently. "Don't worry. I've got you." The crystal scale beneath her hand pulsed once, slightly brighter than before, and Maya smiled behind her faceplate. She had no idea what she was getting into, but she knew one thing for certain: this was going to be the most interesting repair job of her career. Moving the wounded ship to the pit stop's main bay proved more challenging than Maya had anticipated. The vessel's organic nature meant traditional tractor beams and magnetic grapples risked causing further damage. Instead, she had to improvise a cushioning field using modified gravity generators, essentially creating a bubble of controlled space that could cradle the massive ship. Power consumption at 87%. Araya warned as Maya carefully guided the ship through the bay doors. "Maintaining the field is straining our reserves. Redirect power from non-essential systems," Maya ordered, her fingers dancing across the control panel. "We just need to hold it a little longer." The ship settled into the bay with surprising grace despite its size, its crystalline scales casting rainbow patterns across the walls as emergency lights played across their surface. Maya wasted no time connecting diagnostic equipment, though most of her standard tools returned nonsensical readings. "The nanite infection is spreading," Araya reported. "Estimated 48 hours before critical systems are compromised." Maya studied the holographic display showing the spread of the metallic plague. The nanites were concentrating around what appeared to be neural clusters, targeting the ship's equivalent of a central nervous system. But something about their behavior seemed odd. Araya. Compare the nanite activity to known viral patterns. Processing. Analysis suggests similarities to parasitic behavior rather than purely destructive patterns. The nanites appear to be attempting to hijack the ship's neural network rather than simply consuming it. Maya frowned, remembering the strange presence she'd felt when touching the ship. If the vessel was truly conscious, then this wasn't just an attack, it was an attempted assimilation. The thought made her shudder. "Let's try something," she said, retrieving the neural interface helmet from her equipment locker. It was experimental tech, designed to help engineers communicate with AI cores, but it might work here. "Maya, the risk factors for connecting to an unknown alien consciousness air." Noted, Maya cut off Araya's warning. "But we're running out of options and time." She placed the helmet on her head and connected it to the ship's nearest neural cluster. For a moment, there was nothing but static. Then a sudden rush of sensation overwhelmed her. Colors she had no names for, feelings she couldn't describe, and beneath it all, a deep, resonating pain. "Help, please." The words weren't really words, more like concepts impressed directly into her mind. Maya steadied herself against the ship's hull. "I'm trying," she thought back, "but I need to understand what happened to you. Who did this?" Images flooded her mind. Vast clouds of metallic dust moving with terrible purpose, organic ships like this one being consumed and transformed into mechanical horrors, a civilization of living vessels watching in horror as their own people were turned against them. The swarm, the ship conveyed. They seek perfection through conversion. Make all like them. Maya's hands clenched. She'd seen enough science fiction to recognize a mechanical plague when she encountered one, But the reality was far more terrifying than any story. These nanites weren't just destroying. They were converting, assimilating, spreading their version of technological perfection across the galaxy. How many of your people are left? Sadness washed over her, deep and ancient. Few. Hidden. Scattered. I. Last defender. Protecting. Coordinates. Maya understood. The ship wasn't just a refugee. It was a guardian, carrying information that could lead the swarm to the remaining survivors. That's why it had fought so hard, why it had pushed itself to the brink of death to reach somewhere remote. Era, Maya called out, maintaining the neural connection. Begin fabricating quantum-shielded data crystals. We need to back up whatever coordinates this ship is protecting. Maya, trust. So quickly, the ship's thoughts carried surprise and hope. You came to my door asking for help. Maya replied simply. On Mars, we don't turn away those in need. Now let's see about getting those nanites out of your system. Through their connection, Maya could feel the ship's neural pathways more clearly. The nanites weren't just random invaders. They were following specific patterns, targeting key systems. But that systematic approach could be their weakness. ARIA, reconfigure the EMP generators like we discussed, but add a biofeedback loop. We'll use the ship's own neural energy to guide the pulses. Untested procedure, ARIA cautioned. High risk off. Sometimes the riskiest repairs are the only ones worth making. Maya interrupted. She could feel the ship's agreement through their link, a surge of determination matching her own. Besides, she added, patting the crystalline hull, I've got a good feeling about this one. The ship's scales pulsed with renewed brightness, and through their connection, Maya felt something she hadn't expected. Trust, absolute and unwavering. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. The first EMP pulse lit up the repair bay like lightning, sending cascades of energy through the ship's crystalline scales. Maya watched through the neural link as the nanites in the affected area stuttered and died, their hold on the living tissue weakening. It's working, she breathed, directing ARIA to adjust the frequency. The nanites can't maintain their cohesion when hit with the right electromagnetic frequency. But victory was short-lived. Through their connection, Maya felt the ship's sudden alarm just as ARIA's warning klaxons began to blare. Multiple objects detected entering Mars orbital space, ARIA announced. Energy signatures match fragments recovered from the ship's hull. Maya's blood ran cold. How many? Initial count suggests 17 distinct vessels, all exhibiting similar biomechanical hybridization patterns. They appear to be converted organic ships. Through the neural link, Maya felt the ship's terror. Images flashed through her mind. Those vessels had once been allies, friends, now twisted and corrupted by the swarm into hunters. They were coming to finish what they'd started. How long do we have? At current velocity, approximately 6 hours until they achieve optimal firing range. Maya's mind raced. The ship was nowhere near healed enough for combat, and the pit stop's defenses were designed to handle pirates and debris, not an entire fleet of corrupted alien vessels. But she wasn't about to give up. ARIA, continue the nanite purge. Reroute all non-essential power to the procedure. Maya pressed her hand against the ship's hull, sending reassurance through their link. We're not letting them take you. The ship's response was a mix of gratitude and resignation. Too dangerous. For you. Should. Leave. Not happening, Maya said firmly. Mars is my home, and I protect what's mine. Besides, I've got an idea. The next few hours were a blur of activity. While ARIA continued the carefully calibrated EMP pulses, Maya worked to modify the pit stop's defensive systems. The station's old mining lasers, originally designed to break down asteroids, were repurposed into makeshift weapons. Shield generators were pushed beyond their safety limits, their frequencies tuned to match the ship's crystalline resonance. But Maya's real focus was on something else entirely. Through their neural connection, She had begun to understand the ship's biological technology in ways that defied conventional engineering. The crystalline scales weren't just armor. They were capable of channeling and amplifying energy in ways she'd never seen before. Your people, she thought through the link as she worked. They built you to be more than just vessels, didn't they? The ship's response carried centuries of history. They were meant to be partners, symbionts with their crews, capable of growth and adaptation. The crystals were seeds of potential, able to evolve new capabilities when properly stimulated. An alarm chimed, marking another hour passed. The hunters were getting closer. Maya, HFY interrupted. The nanite purge is 67% complete, but we're detecting unusual activity in the remaining clusters. Maya checked the readings and swore softly. The surviving nanites were adapting, changing their structure to resist the EMP pulses. Worse, they seemed to be communicating with each other, coordinating their efforts to protect themselves. Through the neural link, she felt the ship's pain intensify. The nanites were fighting back, digging deeper into crucial systems. They were running out of time. There has to be a way, Maya muttered, studying the holographic displays. The nanites were becoming more organized, more efficient, almost like. She straightened suddenly. HFY analyzed the nanite communication patterns. Compare them to standard network protocols. Processing. Analysis indicates similarities to quantum entanglement-based communication systems. Maya smiled grimly. They're not just adapting, they're networking, building themselves into a more complex system. She pressed her hand against the ship's hull, which means they're vulnerable to the same weaknesses as any network. The ship's consciousness stirred with interest, understanding beginning to dawn. Together, they began to formulate a plan, one that would either save them or destroy them both. HFY, prepare to reverse the polarity on all EMP generators. Instead of trying to destroy the nanites, we're going to overload their network. And Maya took a deep breath. Get ready to channel that overload through the ship's crystal matrix. Maya. HFY's voice carried rare emotion. The energy requirements for such an attempt would be astronomical. The risk of catastrophic failure is better than the certainty of what happens if we do nothing. Maya could feel the ship's agreement, its willingness to take this chance. As if in response to their decision, proximity alarms began to sound. The hunters had arrived sooner than expected, their corrupted forms visible now on long-range scanners. They moved with unnatural precision, their once organic hulls now grotesque hybrids of flesh and machine. Maya squared her shoulders. Well, she thought to the ship, ready to show them what happens when they mess with a Martian mechanic and her new friend. The ship's crystal scales pulsed with determined light. Ready. The first attack came without warning. A beam of sickly green energy lanced from the lead hunter ship, striking the pit-stopped shields with enough force to make the entire station shudder. Maya stumbled but kept her hand pressed against the ship's hull, their neural connection humming with sheer determination. Shields at 60%. HFY reported. Enemy vessels are taking up attack positions. Through the neural link, Maya could feel the corrupted ship's presence, a wrong note in the cosmic symphony, their once beautiful organic technology twisted into something mechanical and cold. The ship shared her revulsion, but also something else. Recognition. You know what they've become, Maya thought. Images flashed through her mind. The hunters weren't just controlled by the swarm, they were becoming it. Each attack, each violation of natural law pushed them further from their original nature. Not just control, the ship conveyed. Transform, evolve, their way. Maya's eyes widened as understanding hit her. But that means we can evolve too. Our way. She could feel the ship's curiosity and hope through their connection. The crystal matrix that covered its hull wasn't just armor or decoration. It was a framework for adaptation, for guided evolution. The nanites were trying to force their version of evolution, but maybe. Another blast rocked the station. Shields at 40%, HFY warned. Maya, We need to act now. Area. Redirect all power to the EMP generators, but don't fire them yet. Maya closed her eyes, focusing entirely on her connection with the ship. You said your crystals were seeds. Show me how they grow. The knowledge flooded her mind, not just information, but deep understanding. The crystals were quantum structures, capable of channeling and transforming energy in ways that defied conventional physics. They could adapt, evolve, become whatever they needed to be. The hunters are launching nanite pods, Araya reported. Impact in 30 seconds. Maya took a deep breath. Now we find out if this works. Araya. Begin power transfer to the crystal matrix. Energy surged through the ship's hull, making the crystals blaze with light. Maya gasped as she felt the power flow through their connection, raw and primal. The ship's consciousness merged more deeply with hers as they guided the energy together, shaping it, transforming it. The crystals began to change. They grew and shifted, forming new patterns, new structures. Where before they had been defensive armor, now they became something more, living weapons, guided by the combined will of human intuition and alien wisdom. The nanite pods struck, but instead of finding vulnerable organic matter, they encountered crystals that pulsed with controlled quantum energy. The pods shattered, their nanites scattered and confused by frequencies they had never encountered before. Remarkable, Araya said. The crystal structures are generating quantum interference patterns that disrupt the nanite's network communication. Maya smiled through the strain of maintaining the neural link. Sometimes the best defense is a really weird offense. The ship's consciousness hummed with approval and excitement. Together, they pushed the evolution further. The crystals continued to grow and change, developing new capabilities. Some formed energy-focusing arrays. Others became quantum communication nodes that could disrupt the hunters' coordination. But the hunters weren't done. They adjusted their attack patterns, their weapons becoming more focused, more deadly. A direct hit breached one of the station's secondary bays, and warning alarms filled the air. Station integrity compromised, Araya announced. Primary systems failing. Maya gritted her teeth. Time for Phase 2. Araya. Prepare to execute Program Phoenix. Maya. Araya's voice carried genuine concern. Program Phoenix is untested. The power requirements alone could overload all our systems. Sometimes you have to roll the dice, Maya said, then through the neural link, ready to show them what real evolution looks like. The ship's response was immediate and powerful, complete trust and fierce determination. Its crystals pulsed with anticipation as Maya initiated the program she'd been quietly preparing. Program Phoenix was Maya's masterpiece, a theoretical protocol that would merge the pit-stop systems with the ship's organic technology. It was dangerous, probably insane, but it was also their best chance at survival. Energy coursed through both station and ship, guided by Maya and Araya's expertise and the ship's innate understanding of its own technology. The crystals began to spread, growing along the pit stop's hull, integrating with its systems in ways that defied conventional engineering. Through their deepening connection, Maya felt the ship's amazement. This was evolution as it was meant to be, not forced or corrupted, but a natural synthesis of different technologies, different ways of thinking. The hunters hesitated, their sensors detecting something they'd never encountered before. The pit stop was becoming something new, neither purely mechanical nor purely organic, but a harmonious blend of both. Now, Maya thought, feeling the ship's eager agreement, let's show them what happens when you try to force evolution on those who choose to find their own path. The transformed station hummed with power as they prepared for their counterattack, crystals blazing with light that held the promise of something the swarm had never considered, true adaptation, born not of conquest, but of cooperation. The transformed pit stop blazed like a newborn star against the Martian sky, its crystalline structures pulsing with quantum energy. Through her neural link, Maya felt the perfect harmony of organic and mechanical systems working together, each enhancing the other in ways neither humanity nor the ship's people had imagined possible. Multiple targeting solutions available, Araya announced, her voice now carrying harmonic undertones that echoed through the crystal matrix. The hunters are adjusting their formation. Maya watched through both physical and quantum sensors as the corrupted ships moved to surround them. Their once graceful forms were now grotesque parodies of their original design, mechanical growths bursting from organic hulls like metallic tumors. "They're afraid," the ship communicated through their link. "We are. Unexpected." Maya smiled grimly. "Good. Let's show them why." She reached out through their merged systems, feeling the power thrumming through the quantum crystal arrays. Araya, initiate dispersal pattern alpha. The crystals covering the pit stop's exterior began to resonate, releasing waves of quantum interference that disrupted the hunters' network coordination. Several ships stuttered in their approach, their movements becoming jerky and uncoordinated as their shared consciousness fragmented. But the swarm was adaptive. The lead hunter ship fired a concentrated beam of nanites, attempting to infect their new crystalline defenses. The attack splashed against their shields, but Maya felt the nanites attempting to analyze and copy their evolution. "They're trying to understand us," she thought to the ship, "to assimilate this new form." "Cannot," the ship replied with unexpected satisfaction. "Our evolution, natural, born of choice, partnership. They cannot copy what they do not understand." Maya understood. The swarm's forced evolution was a dead end, a sterile copying of forms without understanding their essence. What she and the ship had achieved was something else entirely: true growth, born of trust and cooperation. Time to show them the difference. Araya, execute Program Phoenix, combat protocols. The quantum crystals flared with impossible colors as they unleashed their full power. Beams of pure evolutionary energy lanced out, striking the hunter ships. But instead of destroying them, the energy began to resonate with their original organic components, awakening memories of what they had once been. Through their link, Maya felt the ship's satisfaction as the first hunter ship's mechanical infections began to fail, its organic systems remembering their true nature. The crystals weren't just weapons, they were keys, unlocking the suppressed essence of the corrupted vessels. But the swarm wouldn't go quietly. The remaining hunters launched a desperate assault, their weapons reaching new levels of intensity. Warnings blared as parts of the pit stop's outer structure began to buckle. "Hull breach in sectors 7 through 9, Araya reported. Crystal regeneration attempting to compensate." Maya gritted her teeth against the strain of maintaining their defense. Reroute power from non-essential systems. Focus on. She was cut off as a massive energy surge from the lead hunter ship struck them directly. Pain lanced through the neural link as both ship and station reeled from the impact. For a moment, their merged consciousness wavered, systems threatening to fragment. "No," Maya thought fiercely, pressing her hand against the crystal-covered wall. "We are stronger than this. We choose to be stronger." The ship's consciousness surged back, wrapping around hers with renewed determination. Together, they reached deeper into their connection, past the pain, past the fear, finding something neither had expected. Evolution beyond either of their original forms. The quantum crystals began to sing, their resonance building into a symphony of pure transformation. Energy cascaded through their merged systems, not fighting the hunters' attacks, but absorbing them, transforming them, showing them another way. One by one, the hunter ships began to change. Their mechanical infections fell away like shed skin, revealing organic hulls that pulsed with renewed life. The crystals had awakened not just their original nature, but the potential for something new. A true evolution that embraced both organic and mechanical without losing the essence of either. The lead hunter ship was the last to transform, its resistance finally crumbling as the quantum resonance reached its core. As its mechanical corruption fell away, Maya felt something through their link: gratitude, relief, and a deep, almost childlike joy at being free. "Welcome back," she thought, feeling the ship's warm agreement. The battle was over, but Maya knew this was just the beginning. They had discovered something revolutionary, a way for organic and mechanical systems to truly merge, to evolve together without losing their essential nature. The pit stop was no longer just a repair station, and she was no longer just a mechanic. What now? Arya asked, her consciousness now permanently part of their merged systems. Maya looked out at the transformed hunter ships, then at the crystal-covered walls that pulsed with possibilities. Now we help others find their own path to evolution. Not through force, but through choice. The ship's consciousness hummed with approval and anticipation. Together, they had created something entirely new, not human, not alien, but a genuine synthesis that pointed toward a future neither had imagined. As the light of Mars' distant sun played across their crystalline surface, Maya smiled. Sometimes the greatest revolutions started with a simple act of kindness, helping a wounded ship find its way home.